Hey guys, this is Eric, and today we're going to talk about ageism. And I feel like there's a lot of trends about staying young and looking young for a long period of time, like forever young trend. But also, we have a lot of conversation, like age gap relationships, drama, and stuff like that, that I find myself not siding with the majority. I find that either I think it's outrageous, like what people are saying, or I find like, okay, do people have a soul, right? Are we ageist? Are we also internalizing this ageism that it's in society? And I feel like this is a conversation that needs to be had, and we need to share these different views that are more compassionate and that also, how is this all of this affecting us? And I feel like there's innocent takes. So, for example, like, oh, wear more sunscreen because it's gonna protect your skin and you're gonna look younger. I feel like that's completely, innocent. Like it's not gonna harm you. But there's other things that definitely are harming us. Like definitely I feel like I've developed like a small insecurity around my age. Like I would never say my age. Like if someone tells me like, how old are you? Next question. Not answering that. But I just feel like, why? Why is it, that I now feel this certain way about saying my age? So, for example, like I feel like when we're growing older, like we feel like the feeling of maturing and like things are getting better. Like you're 15, you're 18, you're 19, 20, you're an adult, and then you're 21, where like, you're a complete adult. You can make decisions like drinking and 22. 22 comes on and it just feels wrong. It just feels like, okay, things are not going up anymore. This is going down. So I feel like that is the beginning for me. I feel like for me, that's the beginning of my internalized ageism. And I feel like I'm really, really young right now, but I'm definitely seeing this pattern of internalized ageism around people and especially in the gay community where there's so many stereotypes and so prejudiced attitudes, like for example, discrimination even based on your age or based on how young you look. So, and don't get me started with the concept of twink death. Have you heard about it? It's when someone no longer can call themselves a twink. And I don't get it. I'm just like, no, I don't think so. I don't think that it works that way. I feel like, okay, but you can be a bird forever. You can be an otter forever. Why can't you be a twink forever? So we're gonna touch on these topics and on my views, but I honestly believe that this is very harmful. I feel like this is harming our psyche in some ways, where we are seeing the passage of time to be completely detriment and we're not seeing like the benefits of growing older, of maturing and stuff like that. So I want to touch on this, see how I get where I get to. Do I think that I'm going to be cured of my internalized ageism and tell you my age at the end of this video? Absolutely not. But at least we're going to touch on this. We're going to work on it. We're working. We're working on our internalized ageism. One of the ways that internalized ageism affects us is that we do not even want to be around older people. And we feel like we should be around people that are only our age. And we discredit any friendship or anything that's like, oh, older, like, oh, they're not going to get us. Like, only people our age are going to get in. And I remember my first job was in a call center, my first official job. And there were so many people, so different people, different backgrounds, different ages. And the fun thing about call centers is like you don't have like an assigned cubicle sometimes. And someone that's 50, like a grandma, can sit next to you. And then you're like kicking in between phone calls, like talking and like chatting. And it's kind of fun. Like I feel like you get to bond with people that are different ages than you. And you realize that it's not that different. You're not that different. You're not that different from someone that's 40, that from someone that's 45, 60. In the end, like you make jokes, you're still living life, it's still fun. So I think that we need to stop thinking about older people like you're losing your ability to be yourself, like you're losing your ability to be fun or to be cool. I feel like you can be cool at any age. So definitely I we need to like lose this fear that aging is going to change us for the bad. I feel like aging probably is going to change us for the better. And I think that if you had older friends that could give you advice or have that friendship, I feel like at least you would have that different insight. They always have like all this experience and that can help you out with so many things. Another way they internalize ageism affects you is that you believe that you cannot do certain things. Because I remember when TikTok started like booming, I didn't want to get in because it was like, oh, you need to be in high school to do TikTok, or you need to be like super young. Like you're not supposed to be an adult and be on TikTok. And people were saying that all the time. And I was like, should I open my TikTok, you know? And I got in, it was amazing, but I feel like there's so many opportunities that we're missing out because we believe we're either too old to try it, too old to do this. And this could be like hobbies, apps, anything. I feel like we need to work around that and be like, no, whenever someone says like, oh, I don't think you should be in this app, like, I'm going to be in the app. I'm opening it today, actually. Even YouTube. I feel like someone told me in order to be successful in YouTube, you need to start at high school. And I'm like, I already have a master's degree, so what am I going to do? I'm going to start my YouTube. So there you go. I'm here talking nonsense. But yeah, I feel like we need to work on that. And I feel like internalized ageism is affecting us in crazy ways that we're not even aware of. What I really want to touch on is age gap discrimination. The things that I've been hearing on the internet make absolute no sense. Like, the first stereotype is manipulation. When they say that the older partner is manipulating the younger partner. So let's say that you have someone that's 30 and someone that's 20. The person that's 30, it's manipulating the 20-year-old. So it sounds really crazy and nonsensical to me. Like, what do you think happens at 30? Like, what do you think 30-year people are? Immediately, you make this 30-year-olds to be like this evil monsters that are out there to get younger people to manipulate them. Um, what does really happen when you turn 30? Those thunder strikes and then you become evil? Is it your time? You magically say, you know what? It's my time to manipulate people. Time to manipulate the young people because clearly everyone's getting manipulated when they're young, right? I don't think so. I've met a lot of 30-year-olds, 35-year-olds, 40-year-olds, and they're just like sweethearts, beautiful people. And I don't think that they're out there to manipulate people. That makes absolute no sense. It's like, oh, if you are in an age gap relationship, immediately the older person is manipulating you. How? How? Isn't the 18-year-old a man, the 18-year-old or 20-year-old, 22? People are saying that in order for you to not be manipulated, you need to be at least 25. That's what I heard on the internet. I saw that on Twitter and people were agreeing with this. And I'm like, isn't an 18-year-old a man or a woman? Like, we need to figure this one out. Something's not clicking because you can go to war and delete people when you're 18. You can, get a driver's license and, be careful because if you crash into a car, you're going to jail. If you commit crimes, you're going to jail for several years. And there's a lot of consequences. There's a lot of things that you can do. You can drink, you know, um, you can buy a house. There's so many things that you can do when you're a legal adult. Open an OF account. Some people open OFs and start doing adult content, and that is all celebrated. But where people are drawing the line is having a loving relationship with an older person. Make it make sense. Are you an adult or not? This is the question that I have. Like, is an 18-year-old an adult or not? And me personally, I had age gap relationships myself. Like, I was 18, and I had a boyfriend that was like 30, and I was like, he was not manipulating me. I was a man. I think I knew what I was doing at that time. Was I naive and, not having all the experience in my life? Probably not. There's a lot of things that I needed to learn, but I don't think he was manipulating me. I don't think anyone older that has been in my life has manipulated me. That makes absolute no sense. And just because someone is older, that doesn't mean that they're manipulating you. And just because someone's younger, that doesn't mean that they cannot do crazy things to you. There's young people that can manipulate you. Okay? Like, just because someone's 18 or 20, that doesn't mean they can't manipulate you while you're young, or maybe sometimes the maybe sometimes the young people are manipulating older people. Like why does it have to be the older person? I feel like we demonize older people, and it's not right. I don't think it doesn't sit right with me because it's so crazy and it's so bizarre. Like that's our first thought. Like, oh, the older person is doing it, right? Another argument that bothers me about age gap relationships is when people say, "Oh, there's a lack of genuine connection." Like, what do you have in common with a 30-year-old? Like, what does a 30-year-old has in common with a 20-year-old? And again, what do you think happens at 30, at 35, at 40? What do you think happens? I really want to know. Fast. Tell me. What do you think happens? Do you feel like if you like video games and anime when you are 20, you're not going to like them at 35? I'm going to let you know a secret. You're still going to like it. If you like Harry Potter, magic, you're going to like it at 40. Yep, pretty sure. You're going to like the same. So, what are the things that you're going to have in common with someone that's 40 or 50? The same things that they have in common with you, like your hobbies, your passions, your values. There's so many shared interests that you could have. So, whenever someone's like, oh, I'm 25 and I have nothing in common with an 18-year-old, what are your hobbies? Do you have a personality? Because, I mean, I'm pretty sure you probably have something in common with someone that's 18, 19, whatever. So I just believe it's like a little crazy when people make this assertions. I'm not telling you to date younger or to date older. I'm just saying age gap relationships have a space and they have like a need to be like, I feel like they're natural and they could be good. Like some people are more mature for their age and some people just, connect better with people that are younger. I just believe that this is nothing to be demonizing. I feel like a lot of people demonize this age gap relationships, and it makes no sense to me. By the way, my mom and my dad had an age gap relationship, 10 years. My dad is older, 10 years older than my mom, and I feel like they have things in common. I feel like you will have things in common with your partner. That's what you're getting with them. You fall in love with them because you like the same things or you have the same goals. I don't think that an age gap immediately means that you guys are super different and you have nothing in common and there's nothing that you have middle ground or anything. I feel like it's no one is a complete match, but I believe that absolutely you will have things in common with your partner. Another favorite argument on age gap relationships that I love is financial exploitation. When they say that if you're a younger person, that you are exploiting the older person. Let's say that I get in a relationship with someone that's 40 or 35 or 40, whatever, and they're older than me and I make less money. Obviously, I make less money than a millionaire. Hello, if you're a millionaire, you make more money than me. Thank you so much. So, if someone that has more money and that has had more time and opportunities to expand their wealth and develop their wealth, it's paying for a meal or paying for something or giving me a gift, I would appreciate it. I would like, oh, thank you so much. Thank you. But I feel like a lot of people don't understand that as you grow older and you grow your wealth, money has less value. So it's not the same when I was 18 working for college, $7 an hour, than for someone that is already a millionaire and has money in the bank. And the bank is giving you, I don't know, $10,000 a month just on interests. There are people, in case you didn't know, that are getting, certificate of deposits and they get like $15,000 a month. That they are not working for that money. The bank just is giving this money to them like an interest or something. And you're like, oh, and I was working $7 an hour and I could only do part-time because I was in college. So there you go. Imagine me, 18, $7 an hour, and my boyfriend wanting for me to pay for dinner. Sir, I'm eating rice and lentils every day. I can't do this. Yeah, by the way, that was what I was eating in college. So I just feel like there's no financial exploitation. I feel like sometimes people, you know, have their preferences, but also if someone has more money and it's happy to share it with you, I don't feel like there's an exploitation in there. I just feel like it's just a natural thing. Like if I have more money and I am seeing my friends that live in Dominican Republic and I have more financial stability, I'm not gonna let you pay for that meal. I'm gonna pay for it myself because I know that I make more money than you. and that I make substantially more money because I earn in dollars. So I feel like it's just a disconnection. Like, oh, the younger person is always after the older person just because of the money and because they're broke or whatever. I just feel like, hello, there are some dynamics that are healthy and that is just natural. If you have more money and you're helping the person that has less money, I feel like there's not like it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. And if someone that is having very little money, it's pushed to spend to overspend that the person that has more, I feel like you're crazy. I'm like, no, leave that relationship immediately. Live it. And if someone that has a lot of money feels like you are exploiting them or that they need you to provide in the same amount when you're making $7 an hour, you need to leave that relationship because that man is crazy. Okay. And he's very stingy. There you go. Nothing wrong with, and I don't think there's nothing wrong with a sugar daddy and sugar baby relationship. What if you are after that and the sugar daddy is actually happy? Some people really are happy and very generous and they feel happy giving. So, nothing wrong with that. But I don't believe that everybody that is in an age gap relationship is trying to exploit the other partner. It's just some things just happen naturally. Hello. In general, I believe that we should be more open minded for age gap relationships. I feel like they have the potential of being extremely successful long term. And I don't see why we're demonizing older people. Okay. So, this is my goal for this video. It's like for you to think about it and like, hey, maybe I'm thinking about older people like they're all evil, and chances are that these are human beings that have feelings and that could be really good people, and they're just happen to be older. And you one day will be that person. You one day will be older too. I believe one day I'll be 40, 50, 60 if I get to live a long life. So we need to be more sensible and we need to be probably more empathetic with people that are older and be aware of the language that we were using. Because I feel like I had a friend who was like 50 and he was telling me that he was no longer commenting on people because he was just like commenting on certain profiles on social media, like, oh, you look really good, or this is super nice, or like whatever. And out of the blue, he would receive comments of someone telling them, like, oh, don't come in here, you creepy old man, or something like that. I'm like, when he told me that, I was just like, oh my God, I can totally see how people are mistreating you just because you have a profile picture that you look a little older. Like, it makes no sense. We need to do better. That is the thing that I want to say about this and how to combat ageism. The only way to combat ageism is to embrace the perks of the passage of time. Like, we need to agree that aging is natural. We can't stop it. It's happening right now. Every day, every second, you're older, you're aging. And there's so many perks in it. Like, imagine every single year you gain more experiences, more knowledge, more wisdom. I remember, being extremely overconfident years ago and making mistakes, getting in trouble, So, but now I have the wisdom. I know better. And when you know better, you can do better. That's an Oprah quote. So I just feel like it is not that bad to grow old or to start aging and embracing time. Like, oh, you're maturing into a better person. Aging is beautiful, it's magical. I feel like it's part of like a little tale, a little story that you're saying. So I feel like we should be embracing it instead of being, super crazy about like, no, we can't age. We need to stay young forever. Nothing wrong with looking young forever, but I feel like the more we accept that aging is natural, I think the better we'll feel internally. Um, don't take my advice because I'm gonna try to stay as young as I can. However, let me know what you think. Do you think that ageism is affecting you? Do you agree with my views on age gap relationships? Do you think I'm crazy? Do you think that older people are naturally evil? Let me know in the comments down below. I really want to know. I really want to know. And remember to subscribe, like, and I love you. I'll see you in another crazy video. Goodbye.